What is going on, fitness coaches? Welcome to another episode of the Change Lives Make Money on the Internet podcast. As always, it is Monday with the Marks, and today we are going to be having a conversation about
religion,
and our
spirituality, and our
Spirituality.
personal beliefs.
Personal beliefs.
Because it's a hot topic right now.
So I want to preface this conversation by saying that, like, regardless of what your religious beliefs are, I have unconditional love for you.
I would like to start by saying the exact same thing. I think the biggest thing for me is that I respect everybody's beliefs. And obviously, I feel like that also makes me just able to have my own as well.
Yeah. And I think that, like, the conversation that we want to have today is about our perception of religion and what we believe to be true. And again, regardless of what your belief is, I have unconditional love for you. So we are allowed to have different opinions and still both coexist on this planet. So for me, my experience with religion, my family was actually extremely religious when I was younger. Like, we were the family that would host gatherings at our house. We were Christian by nature. We would have Sunday meetings. So I'd have a meeting in the morning and a meeting in the evening. And I remember at 6 years old, I actually got baptized.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah. So in order to be baptized, you have to, like, stand up in front of the church and basically, like, declare your love for Jesus. And so at 6 years old, I did that. But I also think that, like, when I was a younger kid, like, when you're 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, like, I was just so impressionable. And I feel like I remember I did it at the time because I felt like that's what everybody else wanted me to do. Like, I felt like it's what my family wanted me to do. I felt like it was what my grandma wanted me to do. And so, like, I remember standing up and doing that. And for me, my religion had a lot of, like, very strict rules. Like, don't watch TV, don't listen to, like, rock music. It was like, don't get tattoos, don't get piercings, don't swear. And so I felt like as I got, like, into my teenage years, I just felt like I wasn't able to fully express myself, and I grew a little bit resistant to it.
Yeah, I hear you. I can see that. One, I had no idea that you got baptized at 6 years old. Like, I knew that your family was Christian, but I had no idea that you got baptized at 6 years old. And I think just to add on, like, this podcast is definitely not to, like, belittle anybody's personal perspective or belief. And for me, like, I didn't really grow up in a Christian or religious household, but my extended family was extremely religious. Like, a lot of my family out in the States is Mormon, along with some of my family that actually lives out here as well. So it was not highly practiced in my specific household, but it was something that I was around. I think for me now, like, I just believe that there is a higher power, call it the universe, call it God. I am absolutely certain that there's something that has my back. Like, what exactly that is, like, I don't know, but I believe that there is a higher power. And, like, we pray. I'll pray to God. We've prayed nightly, like, for the baby, right? But we don't go to church on Sundays. We don't go to church on Sundays. And I don't think that we will go to church on Sundays. I also think that, like, the creator that I believe in operates from a place of love, and that love is unconditional. And a lot of what I see on social media is, well, you can't do this. You can't do this. You can't do this. You can't swear. You can't. And I just don't believe that the person that created humankind would ever have conditional love for someone who chose to speak in a different way or express himself in a different way.
So I agree with you 100%. I also think that my belief in God or the higher power or the universal consciousness or whatever, language you want to associate with it, I rebuilt my relationship with God when I was a drug addict. I was literally at rock bottom, and my grandma saw me that one night, and I burst into tears. I collapsed on her couch. She came in with a Bible, and she, like, was reading me Bible verses while, like, holding my hand and crying.
Yeah.
And so I believe that, like, a higher power was speaking over me in that moment. And, like, I think that's what saved my life. Like, that's when I started developing, like, a relationship with, like, God or the creator, universal consciousness or whatever. But, like, for me to attach a label, and it's like, this is why it's hard. It's hard for me to explain how I feel about the universe and how I feel about that, whatever it is, this universal energy that's creating us, without labeling it God. Because when I explain it in the way that, like, I believe that, like, the universe is this, like, incredible cosmos where we're, like, interconnected and everything is, like, we are all one. Like, when I explain that, it's hard to explain it in a way that other people will understand unless I say the word God. But then when I say the word God, like, it's hard for me to fully resonate with that, because I don't know if I fully believe in that idea. I think what I fully believe in is, like, this universe is, like, way too fantastic and fucking magical to exist on its own. Like,
I agree.
there's, like,
Yeah.
and I think that human beings forget that like the planet that we're on right now is like, I'm sitting across from you and I'm like 5 feet from you right now. And
Mhm.
like, if I zoomed out, and I looked at the city of Kelowna, it would look like we are one and the same. If I
Mhm.
zoomed out even further and I looked at the country of Canada, we would be the exact same. If I zoomed out even further and I looked at the world, we'd be the exact same. If I zoomed out to take a look at the earth from the sun, it's like the earth is a speck of dust. But then you think about the fact that we literally are living in a universe where there's like thousands of galaxies and then there's thousands of universes. I'm like, there's no way that we on this planet just created this concept that all of us follow. And that is 100% the truth. When we are like a speck of 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 speck of a dust in the grand scheme of
Mhm.
whatever it is that we're existing through. But I also think it's like irrational to think that there's not some sort of higher power or like some sort of divine consciousness that's like connecting us all, because there's no way that the universe would act the way that it does in like harmony if there wasn't some sort of like power keeping it all together,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%. And I feel like for every single person that like has their beliefs and like are very like feel very powerful in their beliefs, I think as long as it's serving them, that's all that really matters, right? Like I think at the end of the day, like what is life? Like life is an experience. That's what you have. You have maybe 100 years if you're lucky where you're able to experience this crazy world, and we don't know like what after this, right? Like so I think if what you believe in serves you and it is helping you like make this experience more magical and more powerful, then I have all the most respect for that. But for me it's like the same as you, like it's very like I think I do believe in, like I say, God, but when it comes to like books of faith, there's not one religion that I could be like, this is the one, because there's parts of every one that I'm like, I don't necessarily agree with this. I don't necessarily agree with this. And I really truly believe that the person, the thing, the power, the universal consciousness that created this world and created the people in it, like I believe that that person would have unconditional love despite the choices that you make to a certain extent,
Mhm.
right? Like I think there's just so many rules in religion. And I don't think that we are placed on this earth to live by someone else's set of rules. I just don't believe that. I think we're here to express our most authentic self. And for me to go to a like church or to somewhere where you have to follow a set of rules, and I know every church is different. And there's some churches that people go to that are like that's their Sunday. Like they love that. And I respect that. But I just wouldn't follow like a set of rules,
Mm,
you know?
yeah. It's funny because I feel like the idea of there's certain like principles that I feel like a lot of religions operate off of. And like an example is like, do unto others as would have done unto you. Like for me, that verse from the Bible is
Mhm.
100% relevant.
I agree.
So there's
Yeah.
like, and this is the hard part about being a sovereign human in today's society is like, I feel like it's viewed as right or wrong for me to be able to be like, oh, I actually really resonate with that idea, but like Judaism has that same concept. It's like, what's hateful to
Mm.
you, don't do to your fellow. So there's certain ideas that I feel like are universal throughout all religions. And I've like, why can we not take the best principles from those ideas
Yes,
and
that's
choose to
exactly.
live by those ideologies? Because there's a lot of things that I do resonate in terms of like,
I use quotes from the Bible. I use
yeah,
quotes from the Bible because there is so many things that I'm like, this is absolutely true and it resonates. So I completely agree. There's so many different religions with so many different principles that would like align with yours and I's core values and how we operate in life. So I agree with that wholeheartedly.
it's like there's like commandments, like do unto others as would be done unto you, like love one another as you would love yourself. Like for
Hmm.
me, I'm like that idea is like 100%.
Accurate.
I
Yeah.
100% resonate with that. Like be faithful to your significant other.
Yeah.
100%
I
resonate with
agree.
that.
Yeah.
But
So let's talk about what things we don't agree with. Cause I feel like that's because there's certain things that like, cause everything that you're saying, I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah.
I feel like I don't agree with the ideology that if I like operate outside of a set of rules and principles that were set by us, that I'm going to be damned for eternity. I don't believe in that.
Mm, mhm.
Like I believe that we have a certain amount of time on this planet, like from birth until death. And then in that time horizon, I believe you either create your own heaven or your own hell.
Mm,
And I think that the way that you would create your own hell is you would steal from others, you would do bad unto others, you
Mhm.
would lie, cheat, and like try to get ahead. And then in return, the universe would come deliver you all of the karma, like the karmic debt that you've accumulated. So, like, yes, you might get ahead in the short term, but I believe that if you get ahead and you try to get successful by cheating, lying, stealing, whatever, I think that it always comes back around to bite you. So I think that
Mhm.
while you are alive on this planet, you're creating heaven or you're creating hell. I also think that like it's possible to live in heaven. Like for me, like for our lives, like I would say like 80 to 90% of the time, I'm like, this is the life that I always chose.
Mhm.
I give freely. I love unconditionally. I
Mhm.
try my best to forgive freely.
Mhm.
I'm like, I'm always giving more than I take. And
Mhm.
because of that, the universe rewards me with like more positive things. And like that's the life that I live is like I'm living in this
Mhm.
place where I'm creating this my own heaven.
And I think that something that like really like kind of made me scared of religion is when I was growing up, like I was super troubled. I was super insecure. I was super lost. I did things to people that I'm not proud of. I treated people in a way that was poorly. I definitely lied. I definitely cheated. And for so long, because of my own personal perspective on religion and from what I saw, I felt like I was a bad person. I felt like there was a higher power that was angry at me, and I didn't know what I could do to just be forgiven. I felt
Mm,
like I was going to be punished at some point in time for the way that I had treated people in the past when I didn't have the knowledge that I have now.
mm,
And it's like the hell thing, right? If you do this and it's like, well, what if I made a mistake? You know what I mean? Like, what if I made a mistake and I know that they say it at whatever you do at any point in time, basically you can be forgiven. But it was a really scary thing to me. It was a scary thing that a lot of what I did growing up were things that were wrong or not right. It's like sex before marriage. Like
mm,
even now, obviously my story is a little bit different because I had my daughter at 16. But even now, like I would never, like, I just wouldn't wait to have sex with my partner
mhm,
until marriage. I wouldn't. And I also respect people that feel that's the path that they should take.
mm,
But I don't think that it should be fear based. If you do this, you need to do things this way, this way, this way. It's like literally we do the best that we can with what we have and what we know. And for my childhood, I almost felt like religion just scared me. It was like death, I think, scares me because I was afraid of like where I'm going to go.
mm,
Am I going to be punished for the mistakes that I made? Am I going to be? And that's just like, I don't think anyone that created this universe that has anyone, anything, any power that created this universe that has unconditional love for every single human that has been created would damn you or you know what I mean? Like that's just something I just refuse to believe that. I know
yeah,
so many beautiful people that have made mistake after mistake after mistake. And it was a lot of fear for me.
yeah,
It was a lot of like, if you don't do things this way, this is what's going to happen. And I just think that's almost manipulation. It's not,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah, I think that for me, it's like the idea of if you think about every single religion that there is on the planet, whether that's, Muslim or Judaism or Christianity or whatever, it's whatever religion you're choosing. I feel like all of them believe that they are the one true religion, all of them. And so, like, how do you determine does that mean like one is right and then all the rest are wrong and then all the rest are just like, damn, you know what I mean?
Or what
But
if,
like, what if there's great people in all of them that are actually living through the principles?
yes, yeah,
Like, then what?
the
You
core
know,
principles. Yeah.
it's like, what if we just chose to live through the core principles? What if we all had reverence for the fact that I believe 100% there has to be a higher power at
I
work. I
agree. I
100%
agree.
believe
I
that.
agree.
And I live my life by that
Yeah,
concept.
I
Like,
agree. Yeah,
I give like every day I start my day with like gratitude for the breath that I breathe and the fact that my heart is beating in my chest and the fact that like the
same.
universe is giving
Yeah,
me the gift of life. Like
yeah.
every day I do that.
And I think there's been so many things that have shown me that, like, it's not just like my friends or my mom or my dad. Like, there's just this, I can't explain it. I can't explain it. But I've always felt like this from a very young age. Even when I felt like religion was almost fear based for me, I always felt like there was something, some energy that just had my best intentions. I always felt like I had someone, something, some energy that believed in me. And anything that I've ever wanted in life, it has happened. I haven't asked for something that hasn't happened, but I've also changed the way I operate. I also like, I'm loyal, but I haven't always been loyal, but I've learned from every single mistake that I've made. And I think that that's all that you can do. And if
Mm,
you commit to learning and you commit to growing, you commit to operating from a place of love, like how can you possibly do wrong in a higher power's eye? And how can you take like you and I who are in Canada and somewhere halfway across the world and try and expect them to follow the exact same book of faith,
Mhm.
right? Because like how many, I think that there was 900 different books of faith and religion, and there's people that like would die on the sword that their one is the right one. But then how can you tell some, do you know what I mean? How can you say that that person's is wrong and this person's is right?
Mm.
Right? Like I just, yeah,
It's hard to have these conversations on social media too. I
it
actually made a
is.
post about this the other
Yeah.
day because people are
Yeah.
so, and I get it. Like
I
people
get it.
are rooted
Yes.
in their belief. And again, I'm not
Yeah.
judging anybody for their beliefs, but I think that that's not the case with most people. It's like most people are judgmental. Like if you have a different belief, they're like, you are wrong. I'm 100% right, and there's
Yeah.
nothing you can do about it.
And I was honestly scared to do this podcast. And I was honestly a little bit nervous at the start too, because I was like, it is very like, it's a big thing right now. It's a big topic. And it sometimes seems like if you don't feel or act a certain way, that you are being judged.
100%.
That's what it feels like. It feels like if you do things like this way, and like one day you'll have a come to Jesus moment where everything changes, and maybe, but like, isn't everyone entitled to like live life on their own path? You should never feel forced. I hate when like someone knocks on my door and says, "Hey, do you want this?" And it's like, if I wanted this, I would go out and seek you and find information on this.
Yeah, I think that it's like my message is like so funny. I posted this and somebody's like, "Oh, like the inclusivity thing's a good money making tool, but it's not like the real thing." Like my message is very simple. Like I do believe in unconditional love.
Mhm.
And I do believe that
Mhm.
like regardless of what your belief system is, like I
Mhm.
have people of many different belief systems in my coaching program.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I've
Mhm.
never, ever, ever judged them once or like said like, oh, you have
Mhm.
this. And so I don't believe in what you believe in, so we
Mhm.
can't work together. I
Mhm.
think that's irresponsible and I think that's judgmental.
Mhm.
And for me, it's like my message is very simple. Like I do believe in God, but I believe in the universe. I believe in consciousness. I believe in
Mhm.
there's no possible way that wasn't this like this grand design is too fantastic to not believe in something bigger.
And I
Just to
believe it
operate.
was built from love. And if you think of the
Yes.
principles of love, like love as a whole is
Universal.
yes, yeah.
Universal.
And like when you say unconditional, obviously like there's certain conditions in relationships and certain things that you
Dude,
have
even
to,
like
yeah,
I'm like so like the 10 commandments are right in front of me. Like you shall not murder. I agree. Honor your father
absolutely.
and mother. Agree.
Yes. Yeah.
You shall not commit adultery. Agree. You shall
Yeah.
not steal. I
But
agree.
then so
Like
then
like there's a lot of
yeah.
things that I resonate with.
Yeah, same with me.
There's a lot of things that I resonate
But
with.
also like then I've been unfaithful. Have you been unfaithful in
So yeah,
relationships?
100%.
Yes. So then it's like for me, the hard part was feeling like, well, I'm such a bad person. I made this mistake. Now where do I go from here? How do I,
Mhm.
like it's just an interesting thing. And then it's like to feel that sort of like shame and guilt towards yourself and then to feel like you're also not going to be accepted by like that was probably one of the hardest things for me to ever have to work through
Mhm.
is being like, I did something that was so out of alignment from like who I think I actually am and like who I've always been, but I just got lost.
Mhm.
Like I took a different path. I wasn't learning lessons. I was self-sabotaging. I was drinking, like, you know,
Mhm.
and like I don't want forgiveness for me to have to be like, forgive me. And now I commit to these rules of this book. Like do you know what I mean? Like, shouldn't forgiveness be something that's like from someone that has unconditional love for its creation? Wouldn't it be weird for it to have conditions? Do you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like, I shall forgive you if
Mhm.
you live life this way.
Mhm.
But then there's other books that would say, I shall forgive you if you do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and I personally, like, I am not super knowledgeable when it comes to religion. I am not. And I'll be the first to say that. And I will look up, like, I've read parts of the Bible. There's lots of quotes from the Bible that I resonate with, but I am not someone who's knowledgeable in the sense
Mhm.
at all.
Yeah, I personally will say that like my relationship with the universe is a one-on-one relationship. And I
Hmm.
think that's all it ever needs to be. And that's just my personal opinion. Is like every day I say thank you. Every day I express gratitude. Every day
Hmm.
I'm like surrendering and giving myself to the path that is before me and accepting everything that comes in my path as something that's supposed to be before me. Like I believe in that.
Hmm.
And like I will operate from that. And I also believe in unconditional love. And I believe in not judging people for who they are or what their path is. I believe that there is, you know, a set of morals that makes it right or wrong. Like, don't steal, don't murder, don't like lie. Like, I believe in
Mhm.
all of those things. And I also
Mhm.
believe that like I'm just going to operate from the best of my ability to principles that I believe are in integrity with being a good person. And I think that's good enough for me.
Mm. Yeah, I agree. I read this book and it basically said like you believe one thing and then someone goes against it and proves it wrong. You know what I mean? Like there's always different perspectives and different people, but at the end of the day, if God is love and operating from love, then like that's all it is. That's all it has to be. And that's like that resonates with me. That resonates with me big time because I did feel like it's at certain points in my life that it would be well, we'll love you if you're XYZ, right?
Mm.
And so you have to kind of like shape shift into whatever the world wants you to be. But I think one of my favorite ways to live is just the only way to live is just unapologetically being myself and learning as I go.
Mm. What do you guys think? Send us a DM on Instagram and let us know. Let's hear from you.
Yes, sir.
And you can find me at the Real Brian Mark on Instagram, Real Brian Mark TikTok, or Brian Mark on YouTube. Where can I find you?
Real Kirsten Mark.
Have the best of your guys' entire life. Talk to you guys in the next episode. Peace. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode. Hopefully you got some value. If you did, and you want to learn more about how me and my team can help you scale your online fitness business to $10,000 a month, DM me 10K on Instagram at The Real Brian Mark for more information, and I'll reach out to you to see if I can help you grow an online coaching business.